Hi everyone, so today I'm here with Ask Kirsten number 29. If you guys are new to my channel, these are my Q&A videos, and I try to answer. I'm going to adjust my body really quick, but I try to answer pretty much every single question that I get asked. So if you have any questions for me, I don't care what they are, leave them in the comments below, and I will definitely try to answer them in my next Ask Kirsten. So I'm on Ask Kirsten number 28 right now, and I'm going to try and answer everything. So the first question I have is from Jolene Long, and this says, if Avery is 15 or 16 and she's had a boyfriend for a while, would you put her on birth control if she didn't ask but you felt she might be sexually active? This is something I've actually thought about. I haven't discussed it with Brian, but I've definitely thought about putting Avery on birth control regardless of whatever she's doing when she starts high school. That's something I thought that would be kind of beneficial for her, not just for the sex aspect, but just to regulate her periods and have her have sort of a minor responsibility of having to take a pill every day. So that's something I thought about doing right as she starts high school, which would be what, 15. So that's something I've definitely thought about. That's definitely something I've been thinking about. It hasn't been obviously something I brought up to Brian because Avery is not even 2 yet, so it's not something that's immediate. It needs to happen right away, but I mean, I might even change my mind come her teenage years. But that is something I've definitely thought about. When I saw this question, that was the first thing that popped to my mind, is I would definitely want to sort of have her be regulated and be on a better schedule, and then have the added bonus of protecting herself if she's too ashamed or too scared to come talk to me or Brian about her sex life, which I hope she is, and I really hope she is open with us. I really appreciate that. But yeah, that's something I've been thinking about. Crystal Camarillo says, what are your top 3 favorite movies of all time? Top 3 favorite of all time is Beetlejuice, Jaws, and Dazed and Confused. They're older movies, but they're super good. I feel like everyone's seen Beetlejuice. I feel like pretty much everyone's seen Jaws. Not a lot of people have seen Dazed and Confused. It's really good. Matthew McConaughey's in it. Ben Affleck's in it. It's pretty funny, actually. It's actually not at all I don't know, it's not at all what I'm into or anything like that, but it was always been one of my favorite movies, so I really love it. Taylor Manning says, do you ever find yourself having trouble getting in the mood after having Avery? If so, what tips do you have for other new moms? Yes, it is something that I felt happened to me actually as soon as I got pregnant. I was just I don't want anything to do with anything, you know what I'm talking about. I was just no. And even after having Avery, I feel I mean, well, I guess it's a little bit different too because I'm sorry, I'm still kind of sick. It's a little bit different too because Brian and I are in a different stage of our relationship right now, where we've been together for so long, so we're not first started dating where you really want to do things all of the time. We've kind of mellowed out, and that sort of kind of plateaued as I was pregnant too, but definitely playing into my hormones. I was I didn't want anything. I still sometimes am just kind of not in the mood ever. It's just hard, but you have to always remember there's another person in your relationship, and even though you may be feeling not really into it, even though you may be feeling not really into it, the other person still needs some love and affection as well. So definitely pay heed to their needs too. And I know that kind of might sound a little bit weird, kind of if you're not into it, still give it to them non-consensual, but that's not what I mean. I hope this makes a little bit of sense, because when I was pregnant, I think maybe we had sex 3 times. I'm just gonna be honest, because I just didn't want to. I was never in the mood, and I felt bad for Brian. 3 times in 9.5 months is not a lot of time, especially if that's the only person, I'm the only person he was with. So I hope that makes a little bit of sense. I feel that made no sense, and you guys are Kirsten, you're weird. Okay. Tamisha Jenkins says, how soon after you get married are you going to try for baby number 2, and do you have names picked out? Yeah, we do have names picked out. However, I don't think it's going to be very soon after we're going to necessarily try. Yeah, I don't think I'm ready for another kid for a while. I actually don't expect to have another baby maybe till 2018, maybe even after. I'm just I'm not ready. I'm not personally ready for another baby. I've thought about it a lot, and I think I'm good for right now. I'm good. But if something happens and we end up pregnant, I'm not going to be mad, but hopefully nothing happens. Kelsey Jordan says, what have people said about you being a young mom in public? That's so rude for someone to approach you like that. Yeah, it's super rude. It's always rude. The two that I can encounters, I guess, that I can really remember from 2 they're pretty much the same person. They were very old Southern women, and they were just both of them had sort of the same situation. One was Avery's nurse when she was 2 days old, and she was super rude and was just like talking to my 2-day-old like, oh, your mommy and daddy are so young, they have to go back to high school. And we were like not in high school at all, like we'd been graduated for like 2 years. And like I felt like just so, she was just so awkward. It was weird. And then the other lady was Avery was like maybe a week old, so this like all happened around the same time. This lady, we were walking into like a restaurant because it's a long story, but my parents were leaving to go back to Virginia at the time. They lived in Virginia, they no longer live there. And it was my brother's birthday, and we didn't want to go out, but we were like, oh, we have to go out, it's his birthday, Avery's a week old, we really don't want to take her out, but we took her out anyway. And we were already like frazzled, and we were walking into the restaurant, and this lady was like, aren't you kids a little young to have a baby? And it was just like, it was so rude. Like the way people say things is super rude. No one says anything anymore, we just get a lot of looks now, which I still think is kind of weird. Taylor Manning says, who's your favorite Orange is the New Black character? I have like a really weird love for Lolly. Like I love her. Like I have like a heart for her. I love her. Megan Emily says, how do you think your life would be right now if you didn't have Avery? I don't know. I feel like it would be a lot calmer, like for sure. Like I wouldn't have such like a crazy mindset. I feel like I go 20 million miles a minute because I'm constantly thinking about things and trying to multitask and do things around her. But I definitely think it'd be pretty boring. I would miss my baby. I wouldn't even know I had a baby, but I would miss her. Reinhardt says, most embarrassing high school memory and first kiss story. I honestly don't think I had anything like ultra embarrassing happen in high school. I'm sure there was like many minuscule little things that happened in high school that were embarrassing. But there's really no like standout embarrassing moment that happened in high school. First kiss story, I was 11 or 12, and it was with I lived in a cul-de-sac on base. I lived in like a little cul-de-sac, and it was like me and this boy, and we were all in the same grade, and these two other girls who were like my best friends. Like we were like little friends, and we all had a crush on the same boy who lived in our cul-de-sac. And I remember like he was like dating us at the same time. Oh my god, like 5th grade, you guys. What a dramatic year for me. And he kissed all of us. He was all of our first kisses, and it wasn't even like a good kiss. It was like literally on our like street on the way home. Like we were riding bikes, and I was coming home from riding bikes, and he kissed me. And I remember like all of 3 of us like girls got together like for a slumber party or something, and like one of the girls was like, yeah, I'm not gonna say his name, me and Joe, I'll say Joe, his name's not Joe, me and Joe kissed. And I was like, me and Joe kissed, and the other girl was like, me and Joe kissed, and we were all like, what? So Joe was not a fun person after that. We all hated Joe. Screw Joe. Actually, I have no idea what happened to Joe. Caitlin Holiday says, what are you getting Avery for Christmas this year? Also, are you going to get a cage/fence for your tree, or just let Avery have free access to it? I think I'm gonna let her have free access to it. Hopefully by Christmas she listens and has a better understanding of what the word no means, because sometimes that girl does not like to know what no, she knows what no means, but she doesn't like to know that it means no. And what am I gonna get her for Christmas? I have no idea. Not a clue. Not a clue. No idea. Katie Noel 97 says, what's your favorite Disney movie and which is Avery's? Avery's current favorite Disney movie is Frozen. She has quite a few favorite Disney movies though. She likes Frozen, she likes Tangled, she likes Monsters University, she likes Toy Story, she likes Zootopia, and she likes Inside Out. I like Zootopia. My current favorite is probably Zootopia. I think Zootopia is really cute. But otherwise, like Wreck-It Ralph's good. Lilo and Stitch. Avery loves Lilo and Stitch. That's another one. Avery loves Lilo and Stitch. It's actually really cute. Homer Simpson. That's funny. When y'all get pets, would you want a dog and a cat, only a dog, or only a cat? I honestly think we would probably want like a dog. Brian wants a dog when we get like a bigger place, but I would like a cat. I like cats. Mara Hoshheiser? Sorry if I say anyone's name's wrong. What made you choose to use double dots to mark Avery's bass? Great choice, but nothing about it symbolizes bass. This is for planning. I don't know, I just like double dots. I wanted to use them somehow in my planner, and I wanted them to be sort of like a prominent thing that I use every week. So I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna mark Avery's bath, so I did it. Anne Klein says, do you ever worry that Avery may be mad when she's older that there is so much footage of her on the internet, or that she may be embarrassed by it? I don't ever worry about it. I do hope she's not embarrassed by it, or she dislikes it in any way. I feel like we don't have anything really out there that's too damning or too embarrassing for her. I don't think if my parents had any of the footage that I have of Avery out of me that on the internet that anyone could see, I don't think I'd be mad, because there's nothing bad. We don't show her naked, we don't show her doing anything like really embarrassing, I guess, although like at this age, like I feel like everything they do could potentially be embarrassing. We don't show us like harming her, because we don't harm her in any way. So I don't know, I know there's a lot of family vloggers that like show everything, and to me I would be like, whoa, like that's a little too invasive, a little too much. But I do feel like we're not that invasive with Avery. We tend to like not show too much of her. If anything, I feel like she'd be more embarrassed of us in the future. She's like, Mom, why are you so weird? That's just me. Again, Lambert says, 2 questions. What is your advice on how to make it through high school, and what are you most excited for on your wedding day? Advice on how to make it through high school. And I know so many people have like looking back on high school videos, and watching those while I was in high school, I was like, oh, like none of this makes sense. Like people are like, don't worry about it, high school goes by so fast. And when you're in high school, you're just like, no, like you're crazy. High school's like the best thing right now. It's the most traumatic thing. And I guess at the time when you're in high school is your life. You know, school is your world. Your peers and the people you're around every day are like your world, because you see them every single day. But my advice really is just do your work. Just worry about your schoolwork. Don't worry too much about your social circle or what people think of you. And I know that's hard to not worry about what other people think of you, because even as an adult, even as someone out of high school, you do still worry about what people think of you. It's just in like a different setting, in a different context, different way. But I definitely, my biggest advice always is focus on your schoolwork, because at the end of the day, what your grades matter more than what your people think of you in high school. You know, your grades are what's going to get you into college, or if you don't decide not to go to college, it's going to be, you know, you're going to worry about what profession you want to go into, how you want to support yourself. And so I definitely feel like just focus on your schoolwork, focus on yourself, and worry about your friends and your social circle second. Which I know is hard to say, but it's the truth. And then what am I most excited for on my wedding day? Honestly, I'm actually getting really excited for our wedding. I was so stressed for the longest time, but right now I'm so pumped. A lot of our friends are coming, and I'm honestly just so excited to be surrounded by my friends and my family. And I'm ready. Like, I'm so ready to just be surrounded by my friends and my family on one of the biggest days of my life, my second biggest day of my life. My first was giving birth to my demon child. I say that right now because she's so naughty, but that was definitely the biggest day of my life. But this is the second biggest day of my life, and I'm very excited to share that with everyone. I'm also excited for everybody to see Avery, because a lot of people haven't seen Avery since she was born, so I'm excited for a lot of our friends to see Avery now that she's like an adult, basically. Oh, and did I not say I'm excited to marry Brian? Because I probably should have said that too. Morgan Renee says, where would you see yourself right now in life if you had never met Brian? I think me and Brian talked about this the other day, actually. We talked about this the other day, and I said that I saw myself actually going to college, like actually going to a university, probably still living with my parents. If I decided not to do that, going to like community college and living with my parents, I definitely don't think I would be out on my own yet. That's like a big thing. I don't think I'd be out on my own yet. Excuse me. Sydney Gilmore says, what is your favorite part about being a mom? Oh, sappy time. My favorite part about being a mom, I honestly love being a mom. It's a very rewarding experience. It's a very challenging experience, especially at this age. It's like, whew, Avery. I know I keep saying that, but she is a wrecking ball right now. But it is a very challenging but yet very rewarding experience. Today, for example, you know, she was frustrating me so bad. We went out to eat. We went to like a hibachi place, and she used to love the hibachi places, the fire, the show. She was like dazzling it. She loved it. She thought it was so great. But for some reason today, she was probably tired. I don't know. It was like the most terrifying experience for her. Like the minute the guy came out and was like cling clang clanging around, she was like, ah, like screaming at the top of her lungs. And I was so frustrated with her. I was like, Avery, like, come on. Like, this is not that bad. You do this, like, not all the time, but you've done this before. You've done this circus before, kid. So I picked her up and I held her. And the whole time she was just so mad. She wasn't even scared. She was just like mad that he was there. Like, God forbid he make her food. Like, so mad. And I was just like, Avery, like, this is ridiculous. Stop acting like this. And then when he was done and he walked away, me and Avery were sharing a plate. She looks at me and she just went like this, just to give me a kiss. And I was just like, I love you. Like, you're the cutest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and I love you so much. Like, you're so cute. Like, I'm like crying right now. Like, it was the sweetest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. She just wanted a kiss. And I was like, to go through 20 minutes of like torture for just one little kiss, like, that's everything to me. And if that doesn't tell you what motherhood is, that's what motherhood is. It's literally 20 minutes of torture for 1 minute of like, I love you so much, you're the cutest thing on the entire planet. That's the most rewarding thing though. Her little sweet face. Like, have you guys seen her little sweet little face? I just want to pinch her cheeks off. They're so cute. God, I love that kid. She's so cute. DDSD says, hey Kirsten, I was wondering if maybe you could make a video on the stigmas of being a mother, like what people have said, looks, etc. Hope I put that right in baby stuff and tips and such, even though I still have 6 months to go. Aww. But I'm still unfortunately being a worry wart. Yeah, you're gonna worry the whole time, I'm sorry to say. Maybe I'll make a video about it. There's been, obviously, like I've said, sometimes where people have been like extremely disrespectful and rude and ignorant to the fact that, you know, young parents can support their child without their parents helping. But yeah, I'll think about making a video. If a lot of people want a video like that, I will definitely do it. But yeah, just let me know. I have hair on my arms. Sydney Hale says, would you let Avery get any body modifications before 18? Piercings, yes, depending on the piercing, good lord. Tattoos, probably not. I think 18 is an appropriate age to get a tattoo. Coming from me, I had 3 tattoos at 16, but I do think I do sometimes wish I would have waited. So I feel like I would want Avery to wait as well. Abnormal Paradise says, I remember in a very old vlog of yours when you were still in high school in North Carolina, you said you had your whole life planned out already. How far have you gone off of that plan? What was my plan in North Carolina when I was in high school? I think my plan in high school was to go to community college, then go to regular college, then get married, then have babies, and then have a career, maybe? I don't know. I feel like that was my goal. My goal was like basically college, marriage, kid. And I do think Brian and I planned to get married in 2016. I do think I remember reading in a yearbook that we wrote we were going to get married in 2016. So hey, I'm not off the plan there. I think probably the only thing that I went off plan with would be Avery. But that's something I can't really complain about because, like, I'm happy with that, baby. Ashley Nicole says, could you recommend a good foundation or makeup line for oily / acne prone skin? It's hard because I have really dry skin. Makeup Forever. Probably Makeup Forever. Any drugstore. I feel like Maybelline, you could find a good foundation. L'Oreal has a good foundation for oily skin. So does Revlon. Just browse around if you're looking for drugstore dupes or drugstore foundations. Browse around a little bit. I definitely think Revlon or L'Oreal might be your best bet though. Anne Klein says, what are your favorite clothing stores? Mostly shop from Stitch Fix lately, but I do like PacSun, American Eagle. Zoomies has really great hoodies. I wear like the most, I've worn the same like clothes through high school that I wear now. I dress like such a lazy bum. That's just how I've always dressed. Hannah Gill says, am I the only one that was watching the ring light reflecting in her eyes the whole video? Do you wear contacts? I actually don't wear contacts. I do have glasses. I don't wear my glasses usually on this channel. Obviously I wear them in planning videos, but you don't see that. These are my glasses. They're Ray-Bans. They're really cool. They're neat cleaned right now. And yeah, I have the ring light. I don't wear contacts. I've never worn contacts. I actually can't see crap right now. Like, I'm looking in the viewfinder, but like I just look like a blob. Like, I'm just like I'm a blob. But yeah, I have a ring light here. I have a soft box over like right here, and I also have one back there reflecting on the back. So I have lots of lights in here. If you guys are watching the ring light reflect in my eyes, I'm gonna start talking like this. Quick question if you've made it through this video. Do we like this makeup? I might do a tutorial on it because I might do this makeup for my wedding. Just throwing that out there. Alexandra Jaskova, hey girl, I see you all the time. How did you imagine living apart from your parents, like by yourself or with your partner? What were your expectations? What surprised you? Do you think it's difficult? Would you rather stay home and live with your parents as long as you could? Given my situation with, you know, Avery and Brian, I definitely think living by ourselves is a must. I could never imagine living with my parents, having a child. I feel like I would feel awkward. I would feel like maybe they were trying to raise my baby, and that's not something I would personally want in my current situation. Also with Brian, because I'm with Brian, we've been together so long, I feel like us living together is sort of like not necessary. Well, it is sort of necessary, but we're at a weird age too, because we're young, so it's like we could still live with our parents and be dating, but also like we plan to get married. So I feel like I personally feel like you need to live with someone before you get married to them. You need to know how that person is before you marry them, at least in the home. And Brian's gross, but I still love him, so it works. I don't know why I just said that. But I definitely think if you're in a situation where you get the opportunity to live with your parents as long as you can, do it. Living on your own, especially out of state, because I do live in Texas, and my mom lives in Utah and with my stepdad, and my dad lives in Ohio. So I'm 20 hours from my mom. I don't even know how many hours from my dad. So I think living in another state is a whole different story, but I do think if you first move out, definitely live close to your parents, you know, because you're going to have issues come up. There's going to be bills that you're unaware of. There's going to be things, responsibilities that you're going to be unsure of how to handle, and I feel like living, you know, near your parents is something you sort of need. I never had that, which I feel like I'm actually kind of happy I didn't, because I feel like I'm a little different in the sense that like I kind of needed the push and I needed the independency kind of for everybody. So I don't know. I don't even know how to answer that. I'm sorry. I'm like the worst. Is it my expectations? Yeah. Bills on bills on bills. I feel like I kind of answered that. Sushi Shah says, do you think you'll work at SPC for the rest of your life? I'm actually wearing an SPC shirt right now. Honestly, I hope so. Like, I really hope that stickers are around for the rest of my life, because I would really love to work how I'm working now, because my job is not easy, but it's like a very easy job for me. I don't have to deal with people ever. I don't work like retail or food, so I don't have to like deal with people. And I'm in like my own environment all the time, and I just not do what I want, but I have like I have stuff I have to do, but I can also like watch Netflix on the side, you know, and I like that. But I also am trying to get my degree to work towards something. So you know, obviously SPC, if it doesn't work out, in which I don't expect it to work out in the next like 5-10 years, but if it does happen to work that long, I will continue to work there. I don't care. I have a backup, I have my degree, and I do have another career field I would like to explore. So that's my answer to that. Bailey Schwartz says, how do you decide which kits you're going to do each month, and what is the best part of planning a wedding? So each month for planning, planning kit wise, typically for like holiday months such as like October or December, it's obvious I'm doing Halloween, Christmas. Otherwise I just pick a kit that I'm feeling, something that I'm really wanting to use. What's the best part of planning a wedding? Right now, it's knowing that it's over. The planning process is over. Planning is so strenuous, so stressful, especially if you don't have a wedding planner. If you're doing it all yourself, it is so painful. The best part though is watching it come together, I think, is probably the best part. I'm so excited. Caitlin Wallace says, where do you get your plugs and tunnels for your ears? Amazon. Rebecca Contreras says, what got you so interested in makeup, and what made you finally want to start making YouTube videos? I was interested in makeup in middle school. It's weird. My mom doesn't wear makeup, so I never got it from like her. I don't know. I think my friends were wearing makeup, so I wanted to wear it too. I actually had a friend named Christy. She actually had a baby like right around the time I had Avery, which is cool. We don't talk anymore, but we're friends on Facebook. But she had a baby like right around the time I had Avery, which is adorable. But anyway, she was really into makeup, so I was like, I kind of like liked what she was using. And then I started watching YouTube videos, so I got really into it, and that made me want to make YouTube videos myself. Geek Plug says, when do you think you'll take Avery to Disney World? Do you think you'll ever try a horizontal planner, and do you own your own silhouette? We actually took Avery to Disney World in February, this past February, and she had just turned 1, and we went for one day, and I think one day was good enough for a 1-year-old. That was good. Do I think I'll ever own a horizontal planner? Maybe. I'm not sure. And I do not own my own silhouette. Astrid Roldan says, do you think you'll ever try bullet journaling? I've wanted to try bullet journaling, but I do not have the handwriting for it. I would want to have like beautiful handwriting before I made a bullet journal or had a bullet journal. Rebecca Norman, if you had to dye your hair a color you've never had, which would you choose? Also, have you ever considered dyeing your hair an unnatural color? Any tattoo plans? I actually am wanting to dye, like start going kind of a little bit crazier with my hair after the wedding. I want to try the gray ombre after the wedding. I want to have the dark on top to the gray down here. I want to try that after the wedding, and I'm thinking about doing purple. We'll see. Tattoo plans, I actually have an Avery tattoo that I want to get, but it's going to cost a little bit, so I'm kind of waiting on that. Emily Bryant, are you still watching Grey's Anatomy? I am. I'm completely caught up. The Life of Kelsey says, if you could trade lives with anyone for a day, who would it be and why? I was thinking about this. I want to trade lives with Avery. I really do. She has the life. She used to play all day and nap. I want that life. Micah says, I turned 21 at the end of August, and I'm definitely going to be trying to get on Big Brother. Dope. Who's your favorite so far? Well, Big Brother is over by the time you're watching this. The day I'm filming this is actually the day of the finale. So the 3 people left are Nicole, James, and Paul. I want Paul. That's all I'm saying. Mess Mama, can you do a filming setup video? I was actually thinking about doing a filming setup for this style video and for planning style. I thought it'd be cool to show the both ways that I set everything up. Victoria Cyper, do you see yourself living in Texas for the rest of your life? I really want to. I want to live in Austin forever. Like, I love Austin. I really do. Ella Malik, if you could only do one makeup look for the rest of your life, what products would you use? Probably Sin and Mushroom from Urban Decay on the eyes. I used to look all the time. Highlight, full face foundation. Color Pop Midi, maybe, on the lips. I'm wearing Stila Caramello right now, but I think Color Pop Midi would be my lip. Like printables, my boyfriend and I are both 19 and been together for 3 years. We hope to plan to move in together by the new year. What advice do you have for young couples getting out on their own for the first time? I say, I was thrown into it. I'm crazy though. I definitely say budget. Like, start budgeting now, start a savings now, get everything as far as financials figured out now, because like I said, there are going to be bills and there are going to be things that pop up that you're unaware of. For example, I just had an AT&T, which is our internet bill, come in, and our internet's usually like 70, 80 bucks a month, and it was almost $300, and I was like, whoa. Like, whoa. And it turns out, you know, there was a mistake and they fixed it and they corrected everything, whatever. But I was just like, there's gonna be times that stuff like that happens, and it might not be an accident. You might be charged a lot extra for gas or something, or for electric, and it's just like, what? Also, our water bill this month was like ridiculous. I never talk about money on my channel. I just don't. I feel it's like really like weird to talk about money. But our water bill was like almost triple what it usually is, and I was like, who is taking that many showers? That was like my question to Brian. I looked at Brian and I'm like, how many showers are we taking that our water bill is this high? But things happen. So yeah, just my answer to that is budget. Sorry, I just went on like a tangent. Emily M says, are you voting at the election this year? Can you explain what job tasks you would have as a healthcare administrator? Healthcare administrator is just that. It's an administrator. It's someone who's in charge of a facility, whether it be a hospital, whether it be a doctor's office, someone who's in charge of like bookkeeping, accounting, things of that sort. Am I voting at the election this year? I am not voting at the election this year. And here's why. I don't like talking about politics or religion either, but here's a politic thing. This election, I feel, is... personally, my personal opinion, I feel like this election is just kind of like voting for the lesser of two evils, and I do not want to take part in that. And I also don't want to tell you who I would vote for if I had to vote, because I feel like a lot of people would be like fucking psycho about it, and I'm not going to get into that. But I'm excited for the next election. Hopefully that's good. Emily, I've tried to make YouTube videos, but I don't have the money to purchase any of this stuff, and I don't know what I would make videos about, so I think vlogging would be really fun for me. Do you have any advice on daily vlogging? I know this is funny because I don't daily vlog anymore. We actually are going to try and vlog a little bit more now-ish, but not daily, obviously. Advice, use your iPhone. And it's pretty good quality, mostly good quality. It's actually really great quality. Just make sure you have it turned sideways. Editing is a little bit harder, but at least for me, because I'm not used to editing with an iPhone, but rather with a camera. But yeah, just use your phone, get like a cheap editing software, use Adobe Premiere. I have Adobe Premiere, or use iMovie or whatever comes with your computer, your PC or whatever. So I don't know, I always say use your phone because it's just easier. And daily vlogging's super fun if you have like the time for it. Hello Jasmine, are you planning on opening up your own Etsy shop? And what was your dream job when you were little? I am not planning on opening my own Etsy shop. My dream job when I was little, I wanted to be a teacher for the longest time. Giota Stigma, sorry if I said that wrong. Do you work in the SPC office or in your house? Will you do a tour of your workplace? I work in the office and I will not be doing a tour, I'm sorry. So I didn't answer this person's question, I guess, in the previous Ask Kirsten. I didn't see it, so they commented again. It's from Cassia. Kaweka. And it talks about, I'm just going to read it. Kirsten, if this is too private, then don't answer this question, but since yours and Brian's relationship is my dream relationship, you're the one I ask this. So before Avery was born, you guys stopped vlogging because you split up for a while. Now, if you don't want to, then don't say what was the reason, but my question is, how did you get back together? What sort of talk did you have? Did you need to set any compromises or something? She just wants sort of advice. So, I know not a lot of people maybe know this, but Brian and I did have like a sort of a breakup about a week, for about a week, and that was a couple months before we found out we were pregnant, which is kind of ironic and funny in a way. We had been together for about 3 years at the time, and we were living together in North Carolina, and it was my decision to break up with Brian. I'm not going to go into too many specifics, but we were just having issues in our relationship. We were bickering a lot, and I felt very sort of trapped. I mean, I'll just be honest. We had just gone from living with his mom to living with his dad, so I felt like whenever we got into an argument, because we weren't living alone, whenever we got into an argument, there was, other people there because we were living with other people, and it was all like Brian's family. So I felt very trapped because they were obviously going to take Brian's side on things, and we'd been bickering so much, and we had just moved to North Carolina from California. I was just like, I was mad. I'd left my friends who were in California. I just made friends, and I was mad. And I was just in a space in my life. I was just in an area in my life. What am I thinking? A mindset, a phase in my life where I was mad, and I just didn't like where I was, and I wasn't happy with myself, and I wasn't happy with our relationship, and we were fighting all of the time, and I just was not happy. So we did break up for about a week. The first day that we broke up, I know, was like a big thing because Brian tweeted, Kirsten, come home, and like everyone was like, oh my god, Kirsten, where are you? And I was like, oh my god, like chill out. Like he's tweeting that because he was mad at me, and I had literally gone up the street, like a mile up the street. We had mutual friends. Me and Brian had like couple friends, like they were a couple, we were a couple, and they were married, and I went and stayed with them. They had a little boy at the time. They actually have 2 kids now, and they had a little boy at the time, and I went and stayed with them for the night because it was really bad. Obviously, we had just broken up. We'd been together for 3 years. I feel like I'm going into more detail than I really like ever have. So I went and stayed with them for the night, and then the next day I came back to the house, and I actually ended up staying back at Brian's dad's house with Brian, his dad, and his brother. I stayed there the rest of the week that we were broken up, and it was weird. It was awkward, and I feel like the way that our relationship sort of got resolved was because I did come stay back at the house. I feel if I had stayed, honestly, if I had stayed with our friends and potentially gone home, like back to my parents' house, I don't think our relationship, I don't think we would have gotten back together. I really don't. And that's me being completely honest. Maybe we would have ended up talking again and gotten back together in the future, because I do believe everything happens for a reason. So maybe we would have talked again in the future and gotten back together. But then our relationship would be like really weird. We wouldn't have had Avery, like things would have been weird. But because I came back and because we talked every single day, 24 hours, I feel. Every day we talked about our relationship. We talked about things that were missing, that we needed. We were talking about like why things were the way they were and what we wanted to better our relationship. We never really talked about continuing the breakup while we were like talking about our relationship. So I feel our relationship got better because of it, because we really sat down and we were broken up and we were talking about what we really needed in our relationship, and we didn't fight. We were just talking, and I feel like that was so beneficial, because if you're both sitting there and you're both in the same mindset of what can we do to better this relationship, it actually works. And obviously we got back together. We're getting married in 2 weeks from when I'm filming this. But what was the question? But yeah, we just basically just sat and we talked, and it was great. We got back together, and I know it was really awkward to make that vlog. I didn't want to do it because at the time I just felt like our relationship was so engrossed in like the vlog too, that I felt like we were just pissing people off. But yeah, so that was really what happened. We just talked, and I know that's like everyone's like, oh, like that was literally it, but like that was it. That was our one breakup. And I really do truly feel that a lot of couples have that one big breakup and then they get back together and they're together forever. Every single couple I've seen that I've been around that's been together for like their entire lives have had like at least one big breakup. But then they get back together and like life is a miracle and they love each other and hallelujah. So there's that. I think honestly that was the last question. I did get one more question that I get asked a lot, and it says, what does Brian do for a living? He also works at SPC. So I just wanted to clear that as well. So wow, what a last question. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, like if you have any questions about anything, I'm always willing to talk. I'm always willing to chat and tell you guys things, because I don't want to be not honest, like talking. I don't know, it's one of my favorite things to do. So I hope you guys enjoyed this question and answer Ask Kirsten video. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel if you're not already, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.